Ricardo Pineda. He was willing to die for country, but now the Mexican-born U.S. Army veteran is fighting to keep his family together. Tomorrow, Ricardo's wife, Veronica Castro, who came here illegally, she could be deported. The Anne Arundel County couple have 4 children. 2 are disabled. And I sat down recently with Ricardo, Veronica, and their immigration attorney to discuss their case and why, after years of doing everything right, now they fear that Veronica could be detained and sent home.
It's going to affect my family greatly. It's going to affect my children. My son needs heart surgery.
You would have to have the surgery in Mexico?
Yes, we'd have to have the surgery in Mexico, but in Mexico, it costs a huge amount of money, and we don't have the money.
Ricardo, do you feel because of your service to country that your wife should be allowed to stay?
Yeah, that's the feel I have.
Right. And have you made this case to anybody? Have you appealed to immigration? Have you asked them to give you consideration?
Yeah, my lawyer and Ayuda, they've been helping me a lot with that issue. We've been in touch with Congressman Van Hollen.
Okay, so you've had the local Congress members that try to help you. And what's the response you get?
Very good response.
You got a good response so far?
Yes, they're helping me a lot.
If your wife, if Veronica is deported, if she has to leave at some point, what happens to the children? What about you? Do you stay here? Is the family split up? What do you do?
We will have to go with her. My son is the one who is disabled. He's the most attached to her, and he will not be able to survive without her.
You have a disabled son, so
yes.
if mom goes, he goes. Everybody has to go.
Everybody has to go.
Veronica, what do you want to say to American people? What should they know about you and your case?
Please help us and help families of veterans, because we're suffering a lot. Look in your heart. My son needs a lot of medical treatment.
If you had a chance to talk to President Trump, what would you say to him?
Please help us, the families of U.S. veterans. I'm not the only wife of a veteran in this situation. There are lots of spouses of veterans facing this.
Ricardo, if you had a chance to talk to your commander-in-chief, what would you say to President Trump?
To do some changes to the actual laws, because a lot of families like mine are being affected by that. It's just unfair that families have to be split apart, and I will ask him to help us out with that issue.
Do you both really believe that the president wants to send Veronica back to Mexico? Do you really believe that's what he's talking about?
Yeah, I think so. That's the impression we got.
I think if I can just jump in, one of the concerns that we're having is just there's no guidance on who might be deserving of what's called prosecutorial discretion in cases like Veronica's. Previously, we had memoranda that attorneys like myself could look to make arguments that this is the spouse of a veteran, this is the mother of of 2 severely disabled children. And there was guidance that, okay, individuals in that situation wouldn't be subjected to deportation. And those memoranda, that guidance has disappeared. So we don't have any sort of guidance upon which we can say, okay, it's okay, Veronica, you're safe this year. We don't have that support that we can rely upon.
And it's not like she's been hiding. I mean, she's been checking in. They know who she is, where she is. They know that she hasn't become a problem or gotten any kind of trouble like the president's talking about. We're trying to target, right?
Exactly.
There are no secrets here.
Correct.
And so why is it so complicated? Why can't we get this done?
Well, the enforcement priorities that were discussed by the President in his executive order, as well as by the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, essentially prioritize anybody who's here in the United States without papers, or anybody who's here undocumented.
Right. One final question. What do you say to your children?
We try to give them hope. They're suffering in this situation also, but we try to all keep some hope.
Veronica Castro is now scheduled to have a check-in with ICE agents tomorrow morning in Baltimore. Members of the clergy and community will also be there, holding a vigil outside the office.